Hey guys, it's me, EODGamerZ here. In this video, let's talk about the Ranger in Act 3 guide. Now, for those of you who have struggled through Act 1 and Act 2, not to worry, Act 3 is a lot easier. It's really much better. And the reason for that is a few things. One is you have progressed enough in the game to at least have a couple of orbs that are going around. If you have at least one Exalted orb, hopefully you have at least one, you can do trading, and I'll teach you exactly what you need to get to help you really speedrun the boss. In a Ranger class, Deadeye, Pathfinder, I downed the boss within like 2 minutes in total, and this guy is going to help you clear it with an absolute breeze and help you get a hit as well. So the most important thing that I want you to take away is gearing. Gearing is probably the most important part about Act 3, and when you start to actually dive very deep into it. Notice over here, I have pretty decent amount of resistances at level 50 just clearing the act, with good amounts of evasion as well. So one thing that I want you to do is try the first thing. There's many in the first category, but most importantly, I want you to go and find gear with some sort of fire, cold, and lightning resistance to them to help you bump them up. If you can find a couple, you can find maybe a glove with it, you can find a body with it, you have a hat with it, you are in very good stead already. Some of you may be wondering, EOD is so expensive to find like a triple liner, right? Not exactly so. I will show you here, right here in the trade menu. All you just need to do is go into the search tab, key in lightning resistant, fire resistant, cold resistant in the search, key in your strength, your intelligence in the max so that you don't get unwanted stuff, and then you filter by your level range. So anything from 25 to the current level that you are, I put 50 in, it's a nice range, and then you just click search and you will actually find so many good gear that are so cheap. Triple resistances for one Exalted, triple resistances for one Exalted as of time of recording, and this is the point where you can actually use a lot. This guy even completed the boot for you already. He has lightning res with triple, socketed as well with so much evasion rating as well. So these are fantastic steals that you can get, and you will bump up your resistances by a crazy amount. Because Ranger class has a lot of evasion, the only thing that really kills you is like magic damage or one-shotting. With all these resistances, it's very easy. So I can straight away see you can buy one hat here, buy one body, buy one boot for 3 Exalted, message the guy. And it's not as if it's just 3 people trying to manipulate the market. You can scroll down and see everything is currently going for 1 Exalted in this category. So this is a really good way to get a hit, and I highly recommend it. Once you buy like a body, a head, and a boots, you pretty much are good to go. Now the next thing that I want to give you a recommendation is also, if you don't want to buy the boots, with triple resistances, something that I found really helpful is buying a movement speed boots of at least 20%. Of course, you have those that are 25% as well. Keep the same requirements, whatever level and strength that you have, so you don't get unwanted stuff. But go and pick up one of these. For example, a good movement speed, 20% is really healthy over here. This guy is like 20%. If you can find some sort of like resistances to it, great. But these can be quite expensive if you want to find like triple resistance with like movement speed. They tend to go for a lot more. But if you can find one, hey, great. 25% is what I am using, 25% movement speed, but 20%, 22%, I think is all really good already. Especially this one, you're getting like 173 evasion. There's a socket, and it also has like evasion rating to it with 22% movement speed. This is fantastic. Requires level 33 to use. Very good, and I would definitely consider those. So that is for one of them, for the gearing and how I will get my resistance checked out. Trust me, if you do this, the rest of it is going to be very easy in terms of the boss mechanics. But now, let's go in a bit more detail. We already talked about some tips. I want to give you even more tips to take away from it. Other than that, one important thing that you will see a lot is skill notes over here, your skills. Notice that this is the first time your basic attack has like 3 notes, and you want to actually get even more notes from your other skills. You can see my gas arrow here now has 4 different sockets, and you can do this by taking a lesser jeweler orb and clicking on the skill. So for example, if I use this lesser jeweler orb into a gas arrow, I will then have 3 slots, and then I can increase it 4 and then 5. If you have a perfect jeweler orb, you can increase it from 4 slots to 5 slots, and the maximum goes up to 6. Right now, it's very expensive to get a greater, which is the intermediate one. So there's like, this is the first phase, this is like 1 Exalted. The intermediate from 3 to 4 sockets costs us 17 to 18 Exalted, so it's very pricey. And this perfect jeweler orb goes close to 70 Exalted. So it's very expensive. and it's not something you can get. Of course, I have trading guides on the channel as well if you're interested to figure out how to actually get more Exalted so you can actually buy these yourself. You can check it out. But this is the budget way I'm going to show you right now how I got this gas arrow for so cheap. And you can see the hint is in the corrupted. And one important thing is corrupted does have a chance of increasing the number of sockets. So I'm going to show you real quick. Let's say I am interested in getting a new skill up to 3 stars. Let's say I want to go for a barrage, for example. So remember, you need to take it out first. So let's say I have my barrage here. Where is my barrage? So I remove the base one that I have. This is just a simple 2-socket ones, not anything great. And then let's say I'm forming a new skill. So let's say I have engraving this. I keep one as my backup just in case anything bad happens. I take a lesser jeweler op. I right click, left click on barrage. Now it has 3 sockets. You can see up here in this portion here, it now has 3 sockets. Normal only has 2. This one has 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Val op. These are super cheap. Again, you can use the marketplace to buy. It's about 1 Exalted gives you like 5 or 6 of these as of time of recording. You just right click the Val op and then you slap it in. And sometimes you get great stuff. Sometimes you get nothing. Sometimes it becomes negative. But as you can see here, now I have a 3-node corrupted. Unfortunately, it didn't do anything. So this is a little bit of a waste, but at least I still have like 1 more slot right now. Whereas I only have like 2 previously. So corruption kind of like, it doesn't allow you to do anything else to it. You can't like put other nodes, but still it's a 3. So it's an upgrade for me. I worth the shot. And if you are lucky, you can go from 3 to 4, and it's a lot cheaper way than buying the nodes. And one important thing, of course, is it's very expensive. If I go in my stash here, or it's not expensive, but it's a huge RNG, you can see the number of graveyards that I have, the number of corrupted that I tried to do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 before I managed to get it. 11 lesser jeweler is like 1 Exalted each, so 11 Exalted plus 12 Val ops, which is roughly around like 2 Exalted. So total cost was 13 plus the skill nodes itself. That is really fine. So something you guys may be wondering is, can you actually upgrade the skill node? Let's say that it is or you already corrupted it. Does it level up or does it kept there? Because you can eventually go up to like level 18 and stuff like that. The answer is yes, you can actually level it up. Notice that now my barrage, even though it's corrupted, is level 11. And I have 3 nodes here corrupted. I can take the level 12 skill node, right click, barrage, upgrade. And now my barrage is level 12. So I only can't increase or decrease the number of nodes here. As you have more resources, you can keep redoing the process to try to get like 4 skill nodes. But yeah, this is a really, really good tip that I highly recommend. So you can get more slots for a really, really cheap price, especially from Act 3 onwards. These additional nodes here, you can then socket in more stuff to give you a lot more benefit as well. So that is the second big tip that I have in terms of gearing for a cheap. Not all of us can afford great jeweler ops, but if you want to know how to farm, you can check out our farming guide. Other than that, get a good bow, get some more damage increase. Doesn't really matter what it is. There are 2 different builds that's going around now in early access. It's either the lightning build or the gas arrow, which has been unfortunately a little bit nerfed. I personally run an attack speed build, and that I find that really effective. For builds, that's the best tips that I have. Now let's talk about the thing that really is probably the most interesting one, which is skill tree. You don't have to do your second ascension, but you can do it quite easily with the tips already that we've covered. If you have bought good items, good gear, which you definitely will have a little bit of resources because you've been playing for 2x already. Right now, you can get all those. Ascension 2 is very easy, can go however you like. I picked up near damage because gas arrow fire mode, which I have talked about in Act 2. That's what I've been using, and I find it works really well too. I am going down a very generic skill build for my skill tree. Some people complain that, you need to respec and stuff, it costs us a lot of money. But if you correctly did it as we did in the start, you don't really need to respec too much, even though they nerf like lightning, they nerf like poison. So what I'm building for is a very simple movement speed, attack speed, evasion, which is generally across everything. I'm not like min-maxing in 1 star. I'm just going a very utility build in case anything gets like massive nerfs and stuff like that, especially in early access. So my notes here, no change at the start since Act 2. I took basically evasion, movement speed. I want to move faster as much as I can. As you can see here, my movement speed passively is 34.8, which can go up a bit higher with one of the skill traces that I have as well. And I'm going into as much projectile damage here as I can. I went down the projectile road, increased attack speed a bit. I didn't unlock this one. I sacrificed it because I wanted to use the skill point elsewhere, which is more useful. 3% attack speed. Went down these nodes, take the projectile speed, attack speed, projectile damage, more damage here, damage, chance of piercing. Took the strength just to balance it out. This is eventually like some point later I'll switch it back to dex, but I just needed some more to like for gearing related stuff. I didn't want to worry too much about it. Dex here. I didn't take the quiver. I think early game right now is not as substantial as some of the other nodes. 5 here. Went to dex. Didn't consider pin build up. Didn't consider any of like the charms and stuff like that. Didn't consider the crit damage because crit damage relies on crit hit chance, and crit hit chance right now is like super low. You can see it if you press your skills. You go over here and you can scroll down and you will see crit hit chances. Mine's like 16%, which is not very, very significant right now. And then I continued going down. I went into the evasion rating build to move upwards. So stacking a bit more evasion rating because there's additional movement speed here. Very generic stuff. Dex and jewel slots. Dex. And then I focus on this one over here, which is attack speed. 2% attack speed, Dex. 2% attack speed, Dex. 2% attack speed, Dex. And this one, which increases attack speed based on the amount of Dex that I have. And currently my character has roughly around 168, which this node gives me like 10 to 11 dexterity, which is a crazy amount, which I really like. It scales into endgame also. Jewel slots are my preference because I'm a crafter, so I have really, really nice jewels as well. If you guys are interested in like learning how to craft and how to make money, how to trade in like the market, and how I get so many good endgame stuff only at level 50, I have separate guides for that. If you follow my guides, you will be in healthy financial position, at least in Path of Exile 2 for this one. Dex. So I stopped up here in this branch, and then I'm going down Dex here, which we went at the start. Again, another jewel over here, which is really very nice. This one gives me projectile speed, attack speed, damage with bows, attack speed with bows. You can find these jewels from one exalted in the trading market. You can not, of course, as nice rolls as this, not nice stats, but you can find a lot of it in the trading market already, so you can consider doing that. Why projectile speed is good is because rangers, Deadeyes have this skill node over here, which modifies your damage based on projectile speed. So it's quite nice. And we have Dex here. We have increased damage with bows, 10% increased damage with bows. I have 3% attack speed, which are all really nice. More damage with bows here, and some damage. Crit chance. This one is nice because you want to increase the amount of chances that you're hitting, which is why I didn't take the crit damage, but anything that increases crit chance, I want as much as I can. Arrows pierce an additional target. Damage with bows. And this one which modifies the thing. And I went up this branch over here, some Dex, just to unlock the jewel slot, and I went into this portion here because I have a third jewel here that's also really nice. This gives me 3% attack speed, 15% attack damage, 7% damage with bows. It is quite a decent roll tool. Mid roll for the attack speed, a bit low roll on damage with bows, but a max roll on the attack damage. So I'll take it, and I'm using it for myself right now. I went into crit damage, hit chance again. I focus more on hit chance rather than damage, because note that this crit chance modifier is not flat 25% increase. It's 25% on whatever you currently have. So let's say 16%, 25% rough maths is like 4%, which is not the greatest of things, but that's something you know. This has already been factored in. And this one is really good because it gives you a flat 1% crit chance, which helps you. Anything else that's along the way does benefit from this too. So I got that. And the last difference is I went down into these nodes here to pick up these dexterity, skill speed, movement speed, so some mobility and some skill speed. I went into here for some accuracy rating damage, and this one here which increases attack speed for the amount of accuracy rating that I have. And I'll probably complete the nodes because it gives crit hit chance, attack rating, and that pretty much like summarizes the tree that I have right now for my Deadeye. As you can see, it's very spec'd out into a very generalistic build. I don't care what is getting nerfed, lightning, poison, I'm okay with everything, and I destroy monsters very easily with the very well invested account that I already have. Even if lightning gets like super nerf, poison gets super nerf, gas arrow gets nerf, I really don't care. My build is like quite generalistic overall, and this is where the stats I'm sitting at. As for skill nodes, what I'm currently running, my main damaging thing is basic attack, of course, is a lot of damage. I can show you real quick. Let me just go in. I can show you the different skills in the hideout, which is really nice because you can actually like cast your skills here. And if you're finding value in this video so far, of course, do leave me a like, comment, and subscribe for more such future content. It will really help the channel grow and reach out to more rangers too. First thing, one of my skills that I use the most is the gas arrow into firewall combo. This the game developer has nerfed it a bit, but I find it very good in clearing AoE. I use it a lot in doing a lot of burst damage. One of the important things is I take the triple arrow split. So this scatter shot helps a lot, increasing the amount of damage. At the same time, I also take other stuff like fire infusion, gain additional fire damage because you're mostly combining with the flame wall. So all your shots become like fire as they pass through. As you can see, the arrows have a bit of a fiery tip to them when it passes through. That's really nice. Most of my damage will come from this spell. I take weapon elemental damage here, primal armament, and close combat, which is nearer shots do more damage. I'm basically like usually fighting at point blank. So let's say this Kiwi is the enemy. I'm just basically shooting the Kiwi like from this angle. So it's like super, super close on combat. So that's why I also took, in terms of my ascendancy path over here, I focus mainly on the point blank damage, just the center damage. And of course, Gathering Winds was picked earlier on for the movement speed boon bonus, skill speed and stuff, which I found it very, very effective. As for next up, the skill that I use the most is, other than Gas Arrow and the Flame Wall, which I left it at like super low levels, like level 3, because I don't have to have much intelligence. I couple it with Arcane Tempo, which helps me have more cast speed. I used to use the one that forms a circle, but I realized it lacks my comm a little bit, especially if I cast it multiple times. So I don't really like that. But it's just, I think just the straight line, this like firewall straight line is like good enough. You don't have to like have it in a circle, because you usually will be shooting straight anyway, or like passing through the fire. It doesn't burn you as well, so you can just like walk through in and out of it. So that's really nice. Other things, my main damaging skills when I feel like shooting really quickly is actually my basic attacks. So I invest very heavily in basic attacks. The build that you see has my basic attacks this fast. So it's actually quite fast, and I kill a lot of monsters with my piercing ability just with basic attacking. I took projectile speed increase because we have a modifier that increases the damage based on projectile speed, more attack speed, and also Mayhem on hit, which slows the enemy, allowing me to like run and gun when I just like basic attack. So I just hold down my basic attack and then I move, which is like super, super nice. It's just a nice quality of life. Other stuff that I'm still using right now is Freezing Salvo. This is great, especially if I need a quick burst to finish out mobs. This is taken on earlier in Act 2 already. So it just helps me like get rid of some, maybe like freeze if possible. Just help me clear a bit more AoE and dish out a bit more damage against bosses. So it's a nice additional stuff. Don't really use it as much. Other than that, important ones is probably Sniper's Mark and Barrage. Basic attacking Sniper's Mark is really great because you increase the crit that you can do for one instance. I couple that with like some buffing on the instance, either increasing cooldown rate or have twice as many cooldown users. So I can have like 2 charges, as you can see here, 2 charges of Sniper Mark. Barrage is also very, very strong. This allows you to do whatever your ability is twice, which allows you to fire a lot. So let's say I am using Barrage here, I can fire more gas arrows. So you can see 2 shots came out, which is a lot more gas arrows. So I basically like doubled my damage for an instance. At the same time, it also like helps buff 15% more damage and has a chance of not removing charges, which is fantastic. Really, really strong. And that's pretty much the main combos I use currently. Some other ones that I found really interesting is Tornado Shot, which I picked up later on. This summons a tornado, and when you shoot into it, your arrows can fly everywhere. So you can see like the arrows kind of like split up now. There's like 3. I find it's very nice if I want to like make more poison all around the map to like blow up to help me with AoE. That's a very nice feature that I have, the tornado, which I use for increasing the +1 limit, as well as supportive skills have 40% more skill duration. This allows me basically to have 2 tornadoes for whatever it's worth. I think it's quite funny and it's quite fun to help me do some AoE. Other than that, Wind Dancer is probably the best I find so far. This gives me a lot of evasion per stack that I have. At the same time, if I get hit by an enemy, it knocks back all of them. I focus mainly on increasing accuracy rating while my supportive skill is active, because I do get attack speed from accuracy rating that I have. And this one is just like, yeah, I just fill the slot here with regenerate 1% of life while it's active. So at least I have some sort of HP regen, which is probably around like 7 HP per second. That's decent, I guess, overall. Not the most, but better than leaving it blank. But yeah, that is mostly my slots. I just unlocked this as we show in the start. I'll probably fill this up later on. For the important ones, I think I've already shown you. Other than that, nothing too significant. Toxic Growth here, I hardly use this nowadays. I just left it on. This is the one that summons the bombs. Sometimes if there is like downtime, waiting for the boss to happen, I do summon this since it's additional damage while waiting for like the boss's iframe and stuff like that. But other than that, I hardly use this too much. But yeah, if you found this video helpful in Act 3, like, comment, and subscribe for more such future content. I have more guides, especially something that's very interesting is how do you earn more money in-game currency in the game fast? At level 50, how do I have so much resources already? Check it out. I think it's going to be interesting. And thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye now.